Hello, hello. Guess what? I know it's Friday and I have something really special to give to you on this Friday. Because usually Friday I'm busy doing my Kermit thing on my computer, working from home. But today I have a wonderful guest. So I'm live streaming on a Friday. Yes, I am. So today I'm so excited. I have a special guest. I have Dr. Samm with me today. She is one of my super friends. She is super phenomenal. And today we're going to be talking about the facts of what is a naturopathic physician, along with building a healthcare team. So I am so excited to bring that to you today. As we get started, we're going to do a couple of housekeeping tips, quick thing. If you know somebody that needs this, because there probably are some people that do, because I will admit, I didn't quite know exactly what naturopathic physicians did until I met them. So go ahead and share it. The other thing is if you know someone that needs this, just go ahead and tag them. The last thing is if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Put hashtag replay in the comments. I am just happy that you came. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. If you do not know me, I am your host, Dr. Erica, Harvard-trained, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm extremely passionate about helping people be better so they could do better and ultimately live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry, my books including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, and my speaking. One of my superpowers is making mental health practical. I do that so you can get the life that you were actually created for. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I'm not going to keep you held hostage on this lovely Friday. But in a moment, I'm going to let my guest give you some additional information, but she is super phenomenal. She is brilliant. She is caring. She is compassionate. She is a mogul. She is a business owner. She is a naturopathic physician saving lives. And she just gives of herself. And somehow in the middle of all this, she manages to actually have a family. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she does all of the things because I feel like she does literally all of the things. But I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about herself. Can you take it away, Dr. Samm?
I can. And thank you so much for having me, my phenomenal friend. Okay. So y'all already know y'all see Dr. Erica every single week, so you know how phenomenal she is. So of course I like to surround myself with phenomenal people. So she is my super friend. So I'm Dr. Samm Pryce. I am a board certified and licensed naturopathic physician. So this means I'm an expert in natural medicine. I'm also an international speaker. So through my #1 best-selling books, my concierge medical practice, where I do telemedicine, and my live event, which is Vital. It's a 2-day international wellness retreat. I help to bridge conventional medicine and alternative medicine to transform your illness into wellness. So that's what I do.
I love that. I love how you say it because it's like you're like a connector.
That is, it's a bridge. I just want to bridge. It's called integrative medicine. We definitely do our alternative medicine, and we are trained in some conventionals as well, but we tend to bridge it when we're doing integrative medicine. So some of my patients want all natural. We can do that. But then those are the patients that really do need conventional medicine. We can kind of marry the two, and it's called integrative medicine in the middle.
That is so exciting. And I'm glad you kind of went there because there are so many terms that are out there. And as I started to get to know naturopathic physicians like you and Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Philandy, you start learning that all of these things don't mean the same. Can you let people know the difference? Because it's like sometimes people will say naturopath, then they say natural medicine, then they say naturopathic physician, then they say naturopathic doctor. Is there a difference between all of those things?
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about the education of a naturopathic physician first. So your MD, your DO, your DC, all of your ones that you know about other than naturopathic physicians, we are all trained the same the first 2 years. So we do our ologies, biology, anatomy, and physiology, and all of those things. So in naturopathic medical school, after our first 2 years, we take something called naturopathic physician's licensing exam. It's kind of analogous to a USMLE step 1. So these are board exams that we need to take. And it's just making sure that we understand the basics of the human body and how we work so that Now we can go shadow people in clinic and understand the dynamics of having that patient and physician relationship and start in our clinical rotations, right? So then after that second year, and we start getting into clinic, the third and the fourth year is where we start to differ. We start doing our biochemistry that has a lot of botanical medicine and herbs, and we learn homeopathy, and we learn a lot about nutrition, and we learn the things that you would consider natural medicine. So acupuncture, all of those things. And then after our fourth year, we actually take board exams, a 3 days worth of board exams, kind of analogous like step 3, 4, I think you guys have, where it is saying, we think once you pass those board exams, you are licensed so that you understand the clinical necessities of how not to harm somebody or kill somebody, basically. So we are licensed. There are some states where they give a degree called a naturopathic degree, but these people are not licensed to sit for board exams. They have no clinical experience, and they still call themselves a doctor. So oftentimes you will hear us refer to ourselves as naturopathic physicians. That is the difference. So the school that I went to is Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine. It gives the degree of NMD, Naturopathic Medical Doctor. Most of the other schools give an ND. Same difference. It's just my school gives an NMD, right? You will hear the term naturopath. Sometimes we're referred to as naturopaths. I think that I refer to myself as a naturopathic physician so that there's no confusion, because we do have people who are traditional naturopaths. They don't do the clinical training. They know a lot about the herbs and the natural things. So I consider them traditional naturopaths or naturopaths. When we're talking about integrative medicine, it's a combination, or that bridge that I was talking about, where we're doing conventional and we're doing alternative medicine. It's a bridge. That's integrative medicine. Functional medicine, which we hear a lot about, was born out of naturopathic medicine. So naturopathic physicians or naturopathic medicine is the grandmother or the grandfather, however you want to choose to say it, of functional medicine. Functional medicine is actually what naturopathic physicians do all day, every day, have done it for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're looking at the function of the body. So in naturopathic medicine, is it okay if I share the principles of naturopathic medicine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's,
I don't have to ask you many questions. I'm like, well,
I was like, well, wait, hold up. So in naturopathic medicine, we really kind of go by 6 principles that guide our thinking. Identify and treat the cause. Oftentimes you will hear naturopathic physicians say, we treat the root cause. You hear this in functional medicine. It comes from naturopathic medicine, right? We're going to treat the cause. So let's think about it this way. Somebody comes in with a headache. There are so many causes of a headache. Did they get a headache because they fell and bumped their head? That's a cause of a headache. Do they have a headache because they have food sensitivities? That's a cause of a headache. Do they have a headache because structurally they have blockages of arteries up there? Do they have a headache because of stress? That's like 4 different causes of a headache. So if you come in with a stomach ache, it's the same thing. What's causing the stomach ache? So identify and treat the cause. That's number 1. And this is in no particular order. Number 2 is docere, which is Latin for doctor. And doctor actually means to teach. So it's the physician as the teacher. I spend a lot of time teaching and educating and explaining. You can see because I'm talking a lot now, right? So it's just how I was raised in medical school. You teach, you explain, you visualize with the patient. So we do a lot of explaining. We treat the whole person. So the whole person meaning body, mind, and spirit. And it sounds cliche, but you know, Dr. Erica, that if the mindset's not right, it's everything, right? So if something is stressing you out, it actually has a physical effect. So I can't get to that physical effect if we're not treating the underlying cause. It goes back to the underlying cause. So treating the whole person. And oftentimes that means that I have to treat some family issues or somebody in the family that is the root cause of why they're not getting better. First, do no harm. So that's the least invasive method possible. And I'll go into what we consider the foundations of health. And I talk about this a lot with my patients, but that's where that first do no harm comes into place. Prevention. I think that's what we're known for. I always test, I don't guess, and then I assess. So that's the prevention part of it. A lot of times I'm doing quirky labs is what we're known for. They're called specialty labs, but I'm doing regular labs as well. And I'm just looking at them from a different perspective. And what we want to do is we want to be able to see if you have family risk factors. We want to see the labs. We want to hear what you're saying so that we can prevent things in the future from happening. Let's go ahead and make you as healthy as we possibly can. Bring your body to homeostasis, which means balance. And then the last one is the healing power of nature, which goes with first do no harm, which is that hierarchy that I'm about to explain to you guys. So that
when you get to the hierarchy.
Okay, I will. The healing power of nature is the vital force. Your vital force is, it's analogous to your immune system, right? But there's so much more to it. It's your body's inherent ability to heal itself and using your body as a guide. Like, okay, you have a fever. Why do you have a fever? Because your body's trying to burn off something. Don't ignore it. Go with it and advance it and allow your body to do the things that it is. God gave us the ability to heal ourselves. We have to use it and know how to use it.
That was so great. I just wanted to pause a moment because you're given so much great information. I want to be able to kind of turn it over and make sure people get a chance to absorb it. Because, you know, sometimes it's like, especially if people aren't totally familiar, they may lose something in it. And you're saying such great stuff because I love the fact that, you know, you differentiated that there is a training difference and a licensure that happens with licensed naturopathic physicians. Because I know as a conventional physician, I'm an MD, is that one of the things that happens is people will approach you, but we don't, you know, in general, a lot of us weren't taught what it is that naturopathic physicians do, or what's the difference between the person that says they're a naturopathic doctor that got a degree online versus you and some of my super friends who are extremely knowledgeable and skilled and not knowing the difference of how to tell who out. Because naturally, if I'm going to send someone to someone, I want to send them to someone that I feel very confident in their skills and I know some level of their training, because I think that's one of the things that gets confusing with some of us is the path to MDs and DOs. Everyone kind of knows it. It's kind of standard. It's like you do your 4 years of med school, then you do your residency for 3+ years. And everyone knows you have a certain amount of training before you're out of training. And, you know, when it's a situation where someone may have something online versus the training that you did, there's a huge difference in that. And the other thing is just that the great thing is by all of us working together is looking at, I love that, you know, you have pillars of looking at the root cause, prevention, looking to nature. And I think there was one more that's why I was like, we got to pause because it's even moving around in my head. So I think there were 4 and I think I lost number 2. What was number 2?
There's 6 of them.
You say 6 and they all mixed up in my head.
Identify and treat the cause. Docere, which doctor is teacher.
Yes, there we go.
Treat the whole person, which you treat the whole person. First, do no harm, right? Prevention. They kind of all go together. And then the healing power of nature.
And see, that's why we had to slow it down because it was a lot. It was really good.
My brain, that's my brain.
Oh, it's all good. It's just I want to make sure no one misses all of this great stuff that you're saying. And what inspired you to become a naturopathic physician?
I got sick in college and was the third diagnosed case of hepatitis. And I was on my way to becoming a cardiac surgeon. And I was like, what? I'm not promiscuous and I don't do drugs. I'm thinking hepatitis, the druggy part. And they're like, no, it was a fecal-borne contamination of smoothies that I was drinking that were imported from Mexico. The strawberries were imported from Mexico. So for 3 weeks, I was sick until they finally diagnosed me. And I was quarantined. Go figure, we're in a pandemic and quarantined. I was quarantined. And so I couldn't do anything, but I read a book. My mom sent me this book and it was like, I knew that it had something to do with the liver. So I kind of looked in this book. I think one of the things was mistletoe, and I had my aunt go out and get me some of the things that they suggested, right? And I was so much better within a week. The doctor said I was going to be down for 3 to 9 months. And I had chronic fatigue too, really bad chronic fatigue. I mean, like I was sleeping 15 hours out of the day, maybe even more, didn't have the energy to get up and go to the bathroom really. Like I was crawling on the floor to go to the bathroom type of chronic fatigue. So within a week of kind of instituting some of these natural things that were in the book, I felt amazing and convinced my aunt to take me back to the gastroenterologist. And the gastroenterologist ran my labs. They were like, you're great. You're cleared to go back to work and to school. I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait to tell them about what I did. And I told them and they poo-pooed it and said that it was because I was young and healthy and vibrant. Well, if I was young, healthy, and vibrant, then why did you think it was going to take 3 months for me to get back? I digress. So anyway, in the back of that book, they had a school, and I didn't realize that there's actually a medical degree that you can get in natural therapeutics. And so I started looking into it and kind of changed my path. And go figure, I didn't realize it, but my father, who had multiple sclerosis, also saw a naturopathic physician. So I was reared that way. I mean, I knew that we did special diets, like we had only baked stuff on this day. We had meatless, whatever. This is way back when, you know what I mean? We didn't have white bread. Yeah. I mean, we were doing woo-woo crazy stuff way back when I was younger. And my mom was like, yeah, your dad went to a naturopathic physician. I was like, this is my destiny. This is my destiny. So it was just meant for me to be a naturopathic physician.
So you brought up something interesting that you were stuck being quarantined when you were sick. What is it like to be in this pandemic and to be either quarantining or distancing? Has that been triggering for you at all?
So I am totally an extrovert. I like people. I like to be around people. I think that it would be really bad if I didn't have like Zoom and FaceTime and being able to actually see people or hear people. I guess I'm a little bit audio because I can actually be on the phone and not see the person as long as I'm having that interaction. And I have a family as well. So I have a 7-year-old son, I have a 20-year-old bonus son, and I'm married. So it's not as though I was alone. I'm not really sure how I would fare if I had been alone. I don't think that I would have done as well as I did, but I definitely had enough chaos in my house with having a stir crazy 7-year-old being around. So I had my own stuff going on at home. So plus we moved in the pandemic.
You
Who
sure
does
did.
that?
Well, it kind of, and the interesting thing is I am that opposite person, that I'm also an extrovert, but I live alone. I'm single, have no kids. So the majority of this has been me in my home or me in the clinic. So it's just interesting how everyone has dealt with it differently. I think being an only child was really helpful, that I entertained myself very well. So I haven't gotten particularly stir crazy. Even though I'm by myself, but it's interesting because everyone's experience is so different. And I know you mentioned audio, and one of the things I've noticed with you is, you are phenomenal on the Clubhouse.
Thank you.
And I know one of the things that you also speak a lot of on the Clubhouse is about the importance of building a healthcare team. Can you talk to us a little bit about this?
Absolutely. I'm an only child too. And I think that people give us a bad rap. They're like, they're not generous. They don't play well with people. But honestly, like I play really well in the sandbox with other people because it was like, ooh, there's more people to play with. Hey, let's play together. You know what I mean? I'm very collaborative. And maybe that is because I was an only child. I'm not sure. But what I find is, and the way that I explain this to my patients is you are the captain of your team. You get to choose the players on your team. And it's really important to choose the right players. So let's talk about football. To make the touchdowns, to win the game of life, right? So you have to choose the right quarterback, the right running back, the right, you know what I mean? All these different positions that play, but you don't play a team, TEAM sport by yourself or with one doctor. It just doesn't work. So it's nice to have a collaboration. So having a naturopathic physician, having somebody who specializes in mental wellness, having a chiropractor that specializes in your spines and your nerves, having someone with your oral health on your team. I think that people forget that all of those things, while they're separate, they all make that treating the whole person, right? So it goes with the philosophy of naturopathic medicine. And then being able to kind of take what that doctor says and take what this doctor says and putting it together. And oftentimes, as a concierge physician, that's what I'm doing. So I will get the report from this person and that person and this person, and then do the dossier, which is the doctor as teacher, and putting it all together for the patient. But it is so important that we as the physicians work together on behalf of that patient. And it's really important that the patient understand that as doctors, we all have our own area of concentration or our skills and our gifts and what we can give. So I will hear people say, oh, my other doctor didn't tell me that. That's not their area of focus. Don't get upset with them about that. You know what I mean? Just hear what everybody's genius is. Medicine is an art, is the way that I explain it. Your doctors are artists. They paint their pictures the way that they paint their pictures, the way that they learned it. Their style might be different. And then you can take all of those and put them together in a collage on the wall and make a beautiful gallery on your wall so that you have exactly what you need for your health. That's how we do it.
Well, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to think about because naturally one person doesn't necessarily do everything, but making sure you have people that can support you in your entire health journey, because
Absolutely.
it's so important for all of us to be at our best level of health, because that puts us in the best place mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that we can really take advantage of every day, every moment that we have on this earth. And one of the things that's been so obvious, especially during this pandemic, is you just never know. No one knows when their time is up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And and nobody wants to sit up and, they're in the last moments and all you're thinking about is what I wish I would have done, or what I didn't do, or how I didn't do something. So I think it's so important to have a team so that you can be at your best, because at the end of the day, one of the things that I think Dr. Samm and I have in common is we care deeply about the people we see.
Yes, we do.
And at the end of the day, my job is to help you be your best.
You know what, though, too, Dr. Erica, the other thing is that people grow, and there's a time and a place and a season for all kinds of things. And, having a different doctor maybe during this season might have been something that you couldn't understand or you weren't ready for. I have people that outgrow me. I have people that outgrow their other doctors and then come see me. There's a time and a season, and we all evolve. So having a team around you to recognize that is really important as well.
That is lovely. And I want to change gears just briefly right here. I do have a couple of speed round questions for you.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you ready for speed round?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What is the best lesson from your mom?
To listen more than I talk. I don't know if I've mastered that one.
I need to sip some water on that.
I don't know if I've mastered that one.
It's so cute. If you
know,
can
it says you have
you said,
2 ears and 1 mouth.
I was really more laughing at your reaction. It was the cutest. It was totally adorable. And I know that's a toughie sometimes.
I'm gonna work on that, Mom. I'm gonna work on it, Mom.
So what's one piece of advice you'd like to give to your younger self?
To my younger self?
Mm-hmm.
Just go for it. Just do it. Imperfect action. I think that I have some perfection paralysis, and knowing that it's not going to get done if I'm constantly tweaking it. I just need to get it done. Just do it.
Oh, I
just
love
do
that.
it.
I totally love that. And what is a favorite gift to yourself? Some weird echoes.
I hear it. What's a favorite gift to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think coaching was a really big gift to myself because it let me know a lot about myself. And while it definitely helped my business, I think it helped me personally as well, understand that I can do it and that I have the tenacity to do it. And so it's definitely made me grow as a person, and also as a wife and as a mom too, because I'm juggling 3 different businesses. And a wife is a job in itself. We call it a hat, but there is a level to, respecting someone else's space and their time, their privacy, their emotions, and sharing space with them all the time. A marriage is a totally different ballgame. Having a little child who depends on you all the time and has questions and is learning different things, that is a ball in itself. Having businesses is just like having that whole separate little ball itself. So in investing in myself and having coaching, I think that was a great gift to myself. To kind of be able to balance all of it and learn it.
Can I just give you a heart? Thank you. So you have a day off. What are you looking forward to doing?
Sitting on the sofa and watching Days of Our Lives.
I love it.
I love Days of Our Lives. But now that the weather's getting better, so we live in Michigan and it's cold. It's cold most of the year, and we only have like a couple of months that are pretty. So right now, instead of sitting in front of the TV and watching Days of Our Lives, I prefer to sit out on the deck and have a glass of wine.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at all. We're almost done with the speed questions. You ready for the next one?
Yes.
What is one thing you do when someone either disrespects you or underestimates you?
Prove them wrong. Go harder. Go harder. Now, the disrespect, that's a different, but underestimate me, I definitely go harder and go stronger and prove them wrong, right? Disrespect me, I'm not very good at that. So, okay. Yeah, the disrespect, I'm pretty really bad at that. My child did that this morning, and so I'm not very good with disrespectful. I kind of write you off. I can't write my kid off, but I kind of write you off because you did that on purpose. And I'm not the so Pisces where I'm not gonna get over it and you're just done, but I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna remember it.
Belita.
Long handled spoon is how I handle you after that.
Ooh, I feel like that's one step away from a switch.
Well, you're not my child. So
So
we're
the
on
last,
camera. I forgot we're recording this.
so the the last thing is, what is your superpower?
Making people feel comfortable. Yeah,
I love it.
making people feel comfortable.
I would agree. That's something you are really good at.
Thank you.
I mean, plus I just keep looking at your fuzzy wuzzy chair. It's like just all the comforts
Yeah.
all together. So I'd love to ask you if you have any final thoughts or takeaways or one pearl you want to leave the peoples with.
No, I think that the whole having a healthcare team is really good. And I think being comfortable with your doctor, what I'm finding now that patients are telling me is that, oh, I didn't tell my doctor that. Well, why not? Because I didn't know if they wanted to hear that, or I didn't feel comfortable sharing. And I think it's really important for you to feel comfortable with that doctor. You know, as physicians, it doesn't hurt our feelings if we're not the right match for you, because oftentimes patients aren't the right match for us. So it is really about you finding the person who gels well with you and finding and establishing that right healthcare team for you. So that's
Well,
the final.
and the thing I love is one of the things you brought out earlier goes really well with what your favorite gift to yourself is that your favorite gift to yourself essentially was investing in yourself. And one of
Yes.
the beautiful things of when you value your own health, you get a great healthcare team, and you open your eyes to the full variety of ways that people can help you be functioning at your best, is
Mhm.
that is another way of investing in yourself. So you also, it's important to invest in your own health. So
It is.
if I had something to leave people with, it's just invest in your health this with the same vigor that you would invest in your business or invest in your job.
I love that, Dr. Erica. Absolutely. Bring it home. Amen. Amen. I
Well,
love it.
it's just, I think one of the biggest things is we just get to a point where it's important to periodically reassess our priorities. And I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm running around, or I've decided I ordered popcorn. The people do the little
I know
fundraiser,
exactly.
and you don't want to be
Yep.
a cheap person that only bought one thing of popcorn. So then you buy multiple things of popcorn. Then you find yourself sitting up eating the popcorn. So I fall off the
And then
wagon.
you eat it.
Um, but it's just important that we continue to reassess and make sure that we are investing in ourselves along the way.
I like that. I like that.
You know, it's one of my things, something I believe very deeply in. So, Dr. Sam, can you let the people know where they can find you?
You can find me down below at www.drsammnd, that's naturopathicdoctor.com. So www.drsammn is naturopathic, D is in doctor.com.
And don't you have a wonderful event coming up later this year?
I do. May the 21st through the 23rd, I'm doing Vital the Experience. It's a 2-day international wellness retreat. There's 11 physicians on stage. The theme is all about detox. It's an all-adult, all-inclusive resort. So no kiddos, guys. It's a beautiful beach, cocktails, food. They make your bed, all of that good stuff, just so that we can unwind and relax, and you still get to learn about your health and how you can naturally detox from 11 different physicians. It's a beautiful environment. I promise to get you out early so that you can enjoy the resort as well.
I am sure it's going to be phenomenal because I did part of the virtual, and the virtual was wonderful. So I can only imagine how much better it is when it's in person on a beach.
Definitely.
You know, I just got to say that. So I want to thank you, Dr. Sam, for taking time out of your busy day to spend a little quality time with me and my peeps.
Thank you, Dr. Erica. Love you and your peeps.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to all of you out there for choosing to spend a little quality time with us. I know there are plenty of things you could be doing on this day, and the fact that you spent time with us, and it's okay. As I said, if you're watching it later on the replay, still go ahead and watch it. You may still have a good time. Just put hashtag replay. Let me know you were here. I wanted to also send out some positive vibes. I know we're still in the middle of this pandemic, and there's still all the madness. Vaccine, no vaccine. I want a vaccine. How do I get a vaccine? There's just all the things still. And I just want to send out some love and some hope and remind you to do your usual. You have that normal prescription to call at least one person and tell them that you love them. And I think that's very important. So the last thing I have to say is just to remind you who I am. I'm your host, Dr. Erica, double board certified and Harvard trained psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I just am so passionate about helping people be better so they could do better and ultimately live better. I do that through my telepsychiatry, my book. I think there's one behind me, or I should say books, because there are books, and my speaking. And I make I don't know why. Let me just admit it. My name is Dr. Erica, and I have been tongue-tied for a few days now. I'm going on the record saying I've been tongue-tied. It just is what it is. You know, I'm human. I figured I'd just share.
You're human.
Just share the humanity. And I will be back next week with the rest of my special series. So I have some great women coming on next week, including Dr. Nisa, Dr. Lisa, and a very dear friend, Azizi Blissett, who is the Dream Life Coach. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please take some time out for yourself. And that's all I got for you. Have a great day.